Okay, so what I am saying is transformation here. Okay, so we have the different scenarios where we can create the transformation. Okay, what is the transformation? If my source is data source, so data source to data source to data source, data source to info source, data source to DSO, data source to info cube, and data source to info object. If my source is info source to info source to DSO, info source to info cube, and info source to info object. If my source is DSO to DSO to info cube, okay, that's it. And my source is info cube to info cube only. And my source is info object. Info object to DSO I can load. Okay. So transformation. So here we have the source. In source we have fields and descriptions, and in the target we have info objects and the description. So KUNNR is my field name, technical field name in source. That is my customer. Okay. In the same way, MATNR is my material technical name. KSTSL is my technical name for cost center. Price is my technical name for price. QTY is my quantity. REV is my revenue. In the same way, in the target, zero customer is my customer. Zero cost center is my cost center. Zero material is my material. Zero price is my price. Z revenue is my revenue. Zero quantity is my quantity. Okay. Now we have to map it. Which data has to go and sit in which field? Right. Here also we have 6. Here also we have 6. But if they are not in the same sequence order, then how do you load it? We have to map it manually. If the technical names are same, then it will map it by default directly. There is no need to manual intervention. But if the technical names are different, then you have to do it manually. Okay. So what is the transformation? Transformation is a place where mapping takes place between. Transformation is a place where mapping takes place between fields of my data source to the info objects of my data target. That is known as transformation. Okay. There are different types of transformation. I'll show you just logging into the system. Okay, I'm trying to log on to the BW system. Okay, this is the where is the transformation? This is, I'll go to info provider. Okay, and I'll check one of the. Okay, see, this is the icon for the transformation. This is the green color one. Okay, green color is the icon. So if you double click on this, if you double click on the transformation, see, this is my source. Okay, and in this case my source is DSO. You have to now remember the icons as well. If you see this blue color, okay, light blue color, some sort of cylindrical, it means it is a DSO. If it is cube symbol with the dark blue color here, okay, it is a info cube. Okay, see, this field of info object employee is mapping with the employee, is mapping with the employee here. In the same way, working day is working with the working day mapped. Okay, calendar year to the calendar year. Okay, and then salary to the salary. Like that it is mapping. Fine. Now, as I told you, there are different types of transformation. How do you define the? If you can see this mapping here, there is an equal to symbol. There is an equal to symbol. Double click on that. Double click on that. Okay, double click on that. And here you can see the rule type. That is nothing but my transformation rule type. Transformation rule type. Okay, that is nothing but my what are the different types of transformation rules we can assign that can be mapped here. See, first one, initial value, constant, direct assignment, formula, read from master data, read from DSO advanced, read from DSO classic, and routine. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 types of transformation rules we have. 8 type of transformation rules we have. Okay, so first one, initial value. Initial value means suppose I have a field here, say, which is my purchasing group, Z0PUR underscore GRP. This is also purchasing purchasing group. This is my key, but in the target source I don't have the data for this. In the source I don't have the data for this. Okay, so what it will be assigned as an initial value, means data will not be loaded. There is nothing in the target source for this, but we have to map it as an initial value. That is a mandatory. If it is a key, right? If it is a key, definitely it has to be mapped with some rule type. If it is not key, then no need to worry about that. If you're not mapping it, doesn't bother. But if it is a key, definitely you have to have a mapping for that. So we'll set it as an initial value, means it is mapped with the initial value. Data will not be loaded. It will be a hash, means blank. We can say it is as a blank. Okay, so that is nothing but my initial value. Initial value. Then constant. Constant means here, say I have a year also. Year. Okay, here also I have year. Okay, fine. So now I am mapping it. Right, year. So what we are doing it over here, mapping it, means it has to, for these records, always it has to go to the source and check what is the value for the record. What is the value for the record? Say, if I am loading this data, always it has to load as by default 2022 only. Always it has to load the data for all the records. For all the records, by default it has to load 2022 only. In that case, why we have to map it? Why we have to map it? Because in the source, for the year, for all the number of records, suppose I have 10,000 records, 10,000 records, for all the 10,000 records, for the year column, if it is 2022 only, if it is 2022 only, then there is no need to map. We can directly assign it as a constant value for this year. No need to go and check in the source system what is the value for the record. Always by default you can load it as 2022. See. Okay. Here, right? So if you double click on that, okay, and if you come here, I'll say constant. Okay, and here constant value, I'll say 2022. Means see, this is a I'm selecting the option rule type as constant. And what is my constant value? We have to define it. What is my constant value? I have to define it. 2022. For all the records, by default, it will load the data as 2022. For all the records, by default, it will load as a 2022. Okay. Do you have any questions or any doubts? What is constant? You should be very clear, guys. That's the reason I'm taking slowly. Okay. If you're not understanding, let me know. Again, I will tell you. No issues for me. But what is most important for me is you guys have to understand the concepts. Divakar, Sureka, Aziz Khan.
Sir, constant value means we have to specify, right? If it is same
Yes.
year.
Yes. If it is always you have to load 2020. 2020. You have to define it. Provide the value for that.
Okay. Yeah.
That is nothing but a constant. Then formula means you can define the formula. You can define the formula. Suppose what is salary is there? Okay. Here, what I do is I will say this is my formula. Okay. See, it opened the page. Okay. What is my source? In the source, what I have? Okay. This is my salary. Salary into, okay, salary into, say I'll say 20. Always my salary into 20, I am adding it to the salary. So I can define my own formulas at the transformation level. Transformation means this will load the data and save it in my target for this calculation. Salary always as a salary into 20. Okay, so that is nothing but my formula. Means you can define your own formulas, like you can price. I have price and quantity. I want to have one more new column as a revenue. Yes, price into quantity is equal to revenue. I can load that. Okay, and I have a discount. Price into 20 by 100 means I am giving 20% discount. Right? So all those type of formulas we can define in it in the transformation. Okay, that is nothing but my formula. Read from master data. As I told you, as the master data is maintained outside of the cube. Okay, outside of the cube. If you want to fetch specific value from your master data, yes, we can do that. So here I can reading it from the master data for the particular attribute value. We have to define that particular attribute. We have to define the particular attribute. Like I'll give one example over here. Okay, say here in the same, I want to get the price, but I don't have price in my source. But there is a info object. Triangle is my info object symbol, guys. See, if I want to show you, if you see this triangle here, info object, say this is a triangle symbol with a square box. Okay, this is the symbol of a info object. Okay,